Lads, football is back! Football is back! Can't believe I'm saying it, but it's back, and I'm so excited. I would have uploaded this video yesterday, but I'd already got the 5 years ago video ready to go, and it was about 3 months in the making. Like, it wasn't difficult, I was just being lazy. So if you didn't see yesterday's video, that's what it was. The Sheffield United squad right now, where were they 5 years ago? It's a really good watch, so go ahead and watch it after this one. It's probably up here or here. I never remember where it is. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, football is back! So as of right now, the first game is the 17th of June. Aston Villa against us, and there's Man City against Arsenal. I've been searching everywhere looking for the kickoff times, but yeah, I think as of right now, as I've recorded this video, the times are not out. But they're both on a Wednesday, so you would think they would be evening kickoffs because there's a lot of people still working. I'm not, so you can do it afternoon if you want. Now the reason why these two games are being played on Wednesday and not at the weekend is because us, Villa, Man City and Arsenal are the only 4 teams that have played 28 games. Everybody else has played 29. And it looks like every game is going to be televised, which is excellent. It's going to be split between Sky, BT Sport, BBC and Amazon, I believe. And Sky have said that they're televising 25 matches for free. Now, I don't know by the time of these kickoffs that every game's going to be free, but whatever happens, I will watch every single Sheffield United match, definitely. But there's loads of other matches that we could be watching. I'm so excited! Now onto the football. Now, with everything that the Sheffield United media team have put out on social media, it doesn't look like anybody's injury or anyone's struggling with any sort of knocks, but we're not going to know. Chris Wilder's not going to let kind of the opposition know if someone's injured. But you would think that most of them would be injury-free with the fact that they've been sitting on their arse for like months. I think the only 2 players that were struggling before the season was paused was Ender Stevens went off against Norwich, and I think he went off a game or 2 before that as well. So Ender was struggling, but we think he's back. And obviously David McGoldrick as well, because McGoldrick was coming back into the team just as it kind of got paused. But because we were playing so well, we didn't need to rush him back, which is great because we all know Dids is past with injuries. Now with that being said, obviously other players who were going to miss the end of the season or were going to miss most of the end of the season are now back. And the one team that are going to come out on top after this pandemic are Spurs. Because before the season was paused, they had Harry Kane, who was a long-term injury, and they also had Son, who was injured as well. Now it looks like they're both going to be fit, and with a manager with such experience as Jose Mourinho, you've got to say they're probably going to be dangerous towards the end of the season. Because really, before the season was paused, Spurs were awful. Not great for us because we're only 2 points in front of them. But before the break, we were excellent, and from what I've seen on social media, all the lads look fit and raring to go. Which is a great segue into my next point. Because last night I was reading Roy's View From, and there was a comment from a Villa fan that read this. I bet Sheffield United are one of the fittest out of the lot, and have total focus on this once in a lifetime opportunity they currently find themselves in. Read somewhere Wilder had them doing fitness work throughout this break to keep them in peak condition. Whereas Matt Targett openly came out and said we need 6 weeks or so to even get to an acceptable level of fitness, while scoffing down a stuffed crust meat feast in his interview. Now I don't think Matt Targett was actually scoffing down a pizza, but everything else is true, which confuses me massively, especially for Villa because they're second bottom. If they beat us, they jump out of the relegation zone. Don't they want to be playing Prem football next season? I just thought that what the Sheffield United players were doing were just part and parcel of being an elite athlete in the biggest and best league in the world. After all, they do get paid an absolute bomb for it. Anyway, I'm not sure if that's mind games. I don't think it is. But with our team being fit as fiddles and the mindset that Wilder gets the players in for every single game, we should really beat Villa. Not to mention the lack of a 12th man in 3 sides of Villa Park. And if we beat Villa, that means we go 5th in the league, which right now we think is going to be Champions League football. Not great for me, but that's an excellent position for the boys to be in after the first game back. But looking at the fixtures that we've got left, they're not the easiest. But could it work to our advantage as well? Because the teams that we've got to play are around us. So if we're winning games, we're taking points off them. Like I say, it's going to be difficult. But why not? Why can't we get into Europe? So after the Villa away game, we've got 5 away games and 4 home games, which could really play into our hands, because we've been a lot better away from home than we have at home this season. And especially with there not being any home supporters, it kind of puts it on an even keel, really. But you've been playing on that pitch all season long, so that's always going to give you a little bit more of an advantage. So we've got to visit Leicester, Man United, Newcastle, Burnley and Southampton, which to me sound like really tough games, but end of the day, it's the Premier League. Every game's a tough game. If you're not on it, you're probably going to lose. And also we're going to be hosting Everton, Wolves, Chelsea and Spurs. Sounds horrendous, but if we're going to be fitter and be more determined than the rest of the teams, why not? Sorry to interrupt this video, but if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do so and like the video too. It really helps the channel out, and do you know what? We're not that far away from 10,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Back to the video. Now, there's lots and lots of factors that can also influence that final Premier League table. There could be reoccurring injuries to players that have made it back in time, such as Kane, Son, etc. Some players may refuse to play, such as Danny Rose, Troy Deeney, etc. After all, the decision was only made yesterday, so yeah, we've got a few more days ahead of us to see what's going to happen. Apparently some players have the virus, which will stop them from training, if not playing, so they won't be completely ready for the restart of the season. Some players could contract the virus, which would sideline them instantly. We obviously know that the crowd can't be the 12th man, which would affect players and teams who thrive on that sort of support. And finally, it all depends on how these players come back from the break. Are they fit and raring to go? Or do they wish they could be back on their back garden, in their hot tub, sunning themselves up, eating a pizza while nursing a San Miguel? It's a tough one, isn't it? Oh, and finally, the Blades have just tweeted out that the FA Cup match against Arsenal is going to take place on the weekend of the 27th and 28th of June, which too ain't far away either, is it? But it'd just be our luck to win the FA Cup for the first time since 1925, and we're not allowed to go and enjoy it. I know there's a lot of games before then, but it'd just be our luck. It'd just be such a Sheffield United thing to happen. Also, I'm hoping that we get a refund on our tickets for the Arsenal game, seeing as though we're not allowed to go. 50 quid back in my pocket would be quite nice right now. Anyway, that's going to be it. I'm just glad to hear that we're going to be able to watch men kick balls around a field again. And the Bundesliga, I'm sorry, it just doesn't do it for me. I tried to pick a team. I picked Dortmund, but it seems that everybody else picked Dortmund. And when I went to watch it, I just weren't bothered. Actually, it's not just Bundesliga. Any league that Sheffield United aren't in, or England, obviously World Cups and Euros and England matches, but any competition and league that Sheffield United or England aren't in, just not interested. I'll watch it, but yeah, I'm not bothered. Just don't scratch that itch for me. So let's do this. Bring on the Prem, bring on the Blades, but most of all, bring on football. Come on, you red and white wizards.